Hello, everybody. Hi, how are you? How are you doing? This is the Walter Orangi Sports Show, and welcome to the show this week, man. I've missed you guys. Hopefully, you guys are doing perfectly fine at home. All right, then let's get into it. This week, we have a host of games. This specifically, ladies and gentlemen, if you're seated back at home watching this current episode, is our kickoff show where I go across all sports media, get what's happening in terms of the fixtures this coming weekend, and present it to you, the fans, and also down in the comment section below, hopefully get your report back and also get your feedback in terms of what's happening in terms of the sports. This week we have Kenya Cup to talk about. We have a host of fixtures coming up. Kenya Cup is moving into match day 4. Very entertaining fixtures coming up. We have Nondescripts taking on Strathmore Leos. Nondes are playing host, and this game will be live at the RFUA grounds, courtesy of K24. Kenya Harlequins will be second game versus Cabra Sugar. A very, very entertaining game and a tough and a nail-biting affair between, of course, the current Enterprise champions and the Ngong Road-based team, that is Kenya Harlequins. The third fixture, ladies and gentlemen, will be Menengai Oilers taking on Resolution Impala, and this game, of course, will be played at the showground in Nakuru. The Menengai Oilers playing host to Resolution Impala, a very good game, an old kind of rivalry between the two. A new rivalry between Impala and Oilers, of course. Oilers in their third season, of course, in the Kenya Cup. And the other game will be KCB will play host to the students from Kenyatta University, that is Black Blood RFC. And in the final fixture of the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have Mwamba taking on Masinde Muliro, and that game will be played on at 3 p.m. at the KCB grounds. Of course, this weekend we have Top Fry Nakura FC taking a rest, and that means those are the fixtures for this week. And now I'd love to take you through what my take is in terms of fixtures this week and who's winning what. Remember, you can also join in the score prediction game that I actually play each and every week, folks. So Nondescript versus Strathmore Leos, an old encounter between Strathmore Leos versus Nondes. Of course, Strath have been playing consistently for the last 4 weeks. Nondes are making a comeback into the Kenya Cup after probably taking a few weeks rest. So I'm looking at this game and thinking Strathmore Leos have had a decent run against KCB. Of course, they lost against Cabras. So which means this coming week they would really expect Strathmore Leos to put on a show. However, a tough nut to crack, but I'll definitely give this one in favor of the Strathmore Leos because they've played longer as compared to nondescripts. Kenya Harlequins versus Cabra Sugar, of course, a tough encounter. Cabra's traveling all the way from Kakamega to Nairobi to take on Kenya Harlequins. And this game, I'm tipping it in favor of Cabra Sugar. That is simply because Cabra Sugar are experienced, and also they have quite a muscle packed up in their ranks. Menengai Oilers versus Resolution Impala. Menengai Oilers playing host to the Saris. A game that is good for the neutrals, but looking at how Menengai Oilers play at home, definitely give this one to them. And of course, it's a home affair between the Oilers versus Impala. So slightly tipping the scales in favor of Menengai Oilers. KCB versus Black Blood. Of course, Thika Road Derby. As always, KCB has always been a hard nut to crack when it comes to playing the students from Kenyatta University. So reluctantly, as much as I support Black Blood, going away to KCB has never been an easy fixture for Black Blood, but hopefully they can get something out of it. But on paper, I'd give that to KCB. And finally, the game of the day, the final game of the day, that would be Mwamba taking on Masinde Muliro. And of course, the students coming in, new season. Mwamba lost last week to Black Blood. They'd want to get one over another team that would probably offer a lot of questions in terms of who they are and what kind of rugby they play. So I'm tipping that in favor of Mwamba. Remember, folks, you can also join in the conversation. Please do drop down in the comment section below. Talk to me about exactly what you think Match Day 4 Kenya Cup will provide or what it will offer, and the conversation will continue. And further afield, ladies and gentlemen, we have Super Rugby happening this weekend, and Lined up in terms of Super Rugby fixtures this week is um, we have the round 5 of the Super Rugby Aotearoa happening this week. The Australian version, that is, we have Rebels taking on the Waratahs this week. And this is an old kind of fixture where you have the Waratahs taking on the Melbourne Rebels. So the Rebels are playing at home. They've not had a good season so far, but I'd expect them to play a kind of brand of rugby that would get them at least a win playing at home. So I'm tipping that in favor of the Rebels. And in the second game of the AU version of the Super Rugby, that would be the Reds, Queensland Reds taking on the Western Force. Of course, the Reds are in red hot form. Brad Thorne's team has really been putting teams to the sword this year in terms of how they play. You look at the results that they had from last week, beating the Brumbies, red hot Brumbies at home, albeit in the final minute. So I'm really tipping the Reds to get one over the Western Force. And of course, when you move over to New Zealand, Super Rugby Aotearoa, very entertaining tournament, getting into its the fourth round this weekend. We have the Hurricanes playing host to the Chiefs. Well, the Hurricanes have had a tipsy-tapsy season in a way that they have lost and they've also won one or two games. So, which means the Chiefs have something to fight over when it comes to playing the Hurricanes. This is not an easy game. On paper, it looks easy for the Hurricanes, but looking at how the Chiefs have been playing, of course, they lost their last two games in the opening rounds, and I'd expect the Chiefs to put up a fight. However, on paper, I'd go with the Hurricanes on this. So you at home can also tell me what you think in terms of the Hurricanes versus Chiefs. And to cap it off, this coming weekend, we have the final game and the biggest game of the Super Rugby Aotearoa version. That is Blues playing host to the current champions, the Crusaders. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Super Rugby match of the week, and it's quite interesting to see what kind of form the two teams are going into this weekend. The Blues are playing at home, of course. The Crusaders are in red hot form. Last week, dispatching another New Zealand outfit. So it means that the Blues have an opportunity at least to cause an upset this week. The Crusaders have also an opportunity to continue their winning streak. So I'm not really sure, but I am a Blues supporter. You back at home, you can also get your prediction going and give me what you think would really happen this week. My take is the Blues are going to beat the Crusaders this week, and you can take that to the bank. And now moving further afield, folks, we have the NRL. The NRL, of course, started this week. This past week, we've had 2 match weeks, and this coming match week, we have, of course, one game has been played, and that was the Melbourne Storm versus the Parramatta Eels. And of course, the Parramatta Eels were playing host to the reigning the reigning NRL champions, that is the Melbourne Storm, and of course the Eels with a civil performance getting one over the current champions. We have the New Zealand Warriors taking on the Newcastle Knights. New Zealand Warriors playing away from home for the entire season. Of course, it's not been easy for the New Zealand Warriors because they transfer from New Zealand, go to Australia, settle down because of COVID restrictions. They could not play back at home in New Zealand. But looking at this current week, the New Zealand Warriors versus the Newcastle Knights, I'm picking this in favor of the New Zealand Warriors just simply because they have a better pack. They have an immense forward line that can easily carry them over the line. The Gold Coast Titans are playing host to Brisbane Broncos. The Titans made a lot of signings this year, doing very well. Brisbane Broncos, of course, they won the Golden Spoon last year, which means that this year they have to really up their game and make sure that they can hopefully get a few results here and there and avoid finishing last on the log. So we have that in favor of the Gold Coast Titans. Canterbury Bulldogs will be playing versus the Penrith Panthers, of course, the minor premiers. I'd give that definitely to the Penrith Panthers. And Manly Sea Eagles will be playing host to the South Sydney Rabbitohs. A very good game also, but the Manly Sea Eagles will definitely come short playing the South Sydney Rabbitohs, a very good team that has done a lot of changes in terms of the squad. Queensland Cowboys will be playing host to the St. George Illawarra Dragons. This is not an easy game on paper, folks. Cowboys, well, of course, they lost in the first game that was last week. Um, St. George Illawarra also lost in the first game, so I'd really expect the two teams to go at each other. But playing at home, well, the Cowboys should be able to get one over the St. George Illawarra Dragons. West Tigers versus Sydney Roosters, of course. Sydney Roosters in red hot form, the Brett Morris form, the Brett Morris show, in terms of the Morris twins show, I'd really tip that in favor of the Sydney Roosters. But of course, they're playing a very good outfit in the West Tigers. And finally, in the NRL match day two fixtures, we have the Cronulla Sharks playing host to the Canberra Raiders. The Canberra Raiders are in very good form, and moving into this match week, I definitely expect the Canberra Raiders to put up a show and try and get one better of that is the Cronulla Sharks. And of course, that has been my NRL preview, ladies and gentlemen. The kickoff, as the show is called, that is the pre-match analysis. What is your take in terms of the NRL? Are you enjoying the games? Are you following the games? Do you do the score predictions? Do you get your mojo going in terms of picking who's gonna win what game and what time? I mean, just following the conversation around the NRL. So you can also join in the conversation. Let me know what you think, and we can also play the score prediction game together. And further afield, folks, we have the Six Nations this coming weekend, and mouth-watering fixtures lined up, and very exciting match week. That is the fifth round of the Six Nations, the 2021 version. We have Scotland playing host to Italy. This is a game I traditionally would call in favor of Scotland, because Italy have really had a very bad run in terms of how they've played in the Six Nations this year. They've not really had a fixture that they've won. So I'm quite expecting the Scottish team, who are in red hot form, to also try and get a good result at home playing versus Italy. The second game will be Ireland playing host to the English side. Eddie Jones, having beaten France last week, of course, the English camp is brimming with a lot of confidence. But they are going away to Dublin, and of course, Ireland are never an easy nut to crack at home. So I'm looking at this game and thinking, Ireland playing at home, England traveling all the way to Ireland to take on the Irish side. Wouldn't be an easy game, but if on the day the English army and the English camp can rally the way they did against France, they can get something. But this is a game I would easily tip in favor of Ireland. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, on the Six Nations front, we have the biggest game of this weekend, a game that you would never want to miss. That is France playing host to Wales. And this game most definitely determines who goes home with the Six Nations trophy. Remember, Wales are a Grand Slam win. If they win away to France, and then of course they'll be crowned the Six Nations champions. If they don't win away to France, of course, then that opens up the door wide open for any of the three teams, that is England, France, or Wales, to be able to clinch it on the last day. So France playing at home, they've been very well. They've been playing very good rugby, a very good brand of rugby. They are very expansive. They have very good forwards, and of course, I would expect France to keep on doing what they're doing and also get a result versus the Welsh side. But of course, remember, this is the biggest game of the weekend. Remember, you folks at home, you can join in and let me know what you think about the Six Nations this year. What has been your team of the year? What has been your highlight? And of course, remember, after the Six Nations, the British and Irish Lions tour kicks off. So you can also let me know who you think is going to make the British and Irish Lions team of this year's event. And now, folks, bringing you up to speed in terms of the EPL. The English Premier League has been serving us quite a lot of entertainment this year. And of course, it's something that amazes me that we are moving into match day 29, and the top four race is really getting hot, and the promotion and relegation fights are also heating up. So on match day 29, we have Fulham playing host. That's on Friday night. Fulham will be playing host to Leeds United. This is a game, of course, Leeds are free-flowing, a very good attacking side, fresh from, of course, holding Chelsea to a barren draw. That is a 0-0 draw that was held at the match day 28. Fulham are also fighting for promotional survival. It means that it's going to be a very tight affair, but I'll tip this one in favor of Fulham. For some strange reason, fighting survival is going to be a very, very good motivational factor for the Fulham side. Brighton versus Newcastle, the second game that is on Saturday, early kickoff. Now, the two teams are really hard to explain in terms of who you can pick because Brighton playing very good, modest, mid-table kind of football. Newcastle also trying to play a brand of football that is kind of mid-table-ish in terms of where they're positioned on the table. So I'm really inclined to either pick a draw between the two sides or go for Brighton. This is a game that, of course, also you back at home, you can also join in and also let me know what you think between Brighton and Newcastle. Who's going to win this game? Because it's on the balance of play is really an even kind of setup. And in the third game, that is on Sunday, we have West Ham playing host to Arsenal. Now, this is a London derby, a very tough game for Arsenal, if you ask me, because you look at how West Ham United are playing, they're above Arsenal on the table, and it's not really going to be an easy fixture going to the West Ham Stadium and also getting a result. And of course, you know how Arsenal plays. Arsenal do Arsenal things, and that is something that we always pick up, and that is something I always pick up. Fans of Arsenal, what's your take going to the West Ham Stadium to play Arsenal? Do you think you're going to get a result? As for me, in terms of what I think would be the final result, definitely tip it in favor of West Ham because one, they're in a better form in terms of league positioning, and second, they are also above the table, above Arsenal in terms of the table. And also, being a London derby, it also brings out that sense of territorial ownership in terms of who West Ham play and how they feel when they play Arsenal. So, and just to put an icing on the cake on all this, um, we'll have Aston Villa playing host to Tottenham FC. Now, this is a very hard game for Tottenham going away to Aston Villa. Aston Villa, a very good side. They have had a decent run this year in terms of the EPL. So I would not. And then of course Tottenham losing to Dynamo Zagreb in the Europa League. Of course that's also a very big shocker. So I'm not really so sure about this game, but I'll tip it in favor of Tottenham. Just reluctantly giving Tottenham the win, but it's not an easy game on paper. All right, folks. Now you back at home, you can let me know what you think in terms of the EPL, the NRL, Super Rugby, Six Nations, all these fixtures this coming weekend. What is your thinking? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna upset in terms of this match day? Get into the comment section below. Talk to me, of course. My opinion is already out here. You folks can follow that. Get into the comment section. Let me know what you think. Do your score predictions, and then when we get back here on Monday, we'll be able to discuss what happened this past weekend and also share what you had to share with me. And now, folks, this has been the Walter Rangi Sports Show, a very good platform for each and every one of us to interact. And I'm happy that you folks are really following up in terms of what the scores are, what I'm talking about, what's happening in terms of Kenya Cup, what's happening in terms of EPL, and everything happening out here in terms of sports. I hope you guys have had a very good and entertaining interactive show. I'll see you back on the show.